Right, welcome to another of my utterly ridiculous ramblings. Now, I had actually planned to do something else today, honestly I did, but the gods of mirth over at HMRC have dropped yet another gift in our laps, and it simply can't be ignored. I simply can't let it pass. Our beloved government department, so committed to making our poor, overworked accountants' lives ever more interesting, they've now started accidentally giving people 2 tax rebates instead of 1. So, yes, some lucky people, taxpayers, woke up to find out that HMRC had refunded them twice. And before you start thinking, if you're one of them, ooh, free money, let's remember this is HMRC. They will figure it out eventually. And when they do, I imagine fixing it will probably be far more painful for the individuals concerned. So how did this all happen? Well, it seems it's another one of those classic cases of system failure. 2 government systems, on the one hand, the PAYE system run by Capgemini and the self-assessment system run by Fujitsu. Apparently the 2 systems aren't talking to one another, like most things over in HMRC. Shock horror. But wait, hold on a second. Fujitsu. Where else has that name cropped up recently? Could it be the same Fujitsu from the post office scandal? You know, the one that designed the Horizon IT system, which ultimately ended up in wrongly accusing hundreds of post office workers of theft, destroying lives and careers, and was one of the worst probably miscarriages of justice in British history. Yes, I think it was that Fujitsu. And it happens to run, scarily, part of our HMRC's tax system. Bloody alarm bells are ringing. So forgive me if I don't exactly feel very reassured when HMRC issues a statement to say, don't worry, it's only a tiny group of people affected, because the last time some of Fujitsu's software had a tiny problem, innocent people went to prison. Now, obviously, I'm not going to suggest that HMRC will just start arresting taxpayers for receiving duplicate refunds. Surely they wouldn't do that. All right. But if you're an accountant, I wouldn't blame you for wanting to double or even triple check every single one of your client's HMRC calculations from now on, if you didn't already, just in case. Now, picking this minor error apart, what should HMRC have done or be doing better or differently? So let's take them to school with Automation 101. Now, apart from calling us here at Bots for that, of course, where you won't just be directed to a useless website and we won't leave you on hold listening to that infamous music. Amy, you can play that here. Now, as someone who builds automation with and for accountants, you very people who are forced to clean up HMRC's technological messes on a daily basis, I can hazard a guess at exactly where this might have gone wrong. Now that's starting with basic data validation. This isn't rocket science. This can't even be considered sophisticated or contemporary technology. Why or how is HMRC running systems, 2 systems, that don't talk to one another, that don't perform this most basic of checks? All right, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm being a bit picky. 2 unintegrated standalone systems, 2 different suppliers, that's the government's vendor selection process at work right there, with masses of data, millions of lines. All right, but what about process automation then? That's hardly new and groundbreaking either. We've been doing that here at BFT for the last decade. So, there should probably be some real-time reconciliation between PAYE and self-assessment, like we have in our systems for accountants and their clients' transactions. But instead, what we get is the government's equivalent of, oops, our bad, don't worry, it's only a minor error, small problem of people. But benefit of doubt again, maybe, being picky again, right? Maybe the selection process for an appropriate automation vendor is in progress. Maybe it's ongoing. Or perhaps no one in their right mind probably wants to take that particular poison chalice and wants to touch that RFP with a barge pole. That's probably more likely. I wouldn't. So let's bring them right up to date then. Because it wasn't long ago if you'd seen one of my previous rants or rambles, that our fearless leader and his Secretary of Technology were lauding their plans for Britain to become the world leaders in AI with a £16 billion investment. So they're not just late to the party. The party finished a month ago, the cleaners have come and gone, and my parents have come back from holiday. Mum, I never did anything like that, by the way, just in case. So it's 2025, for goodness sake. AI is diagnosing diseases, writing novels, doing your kids' homework. It's solving real world problems. Yet HMRC systems can't even flag a duplicate rebate. All right, so again, I may be being hard. What if we flip it? What if it was an underpayment? Now, if HMRC's glitch underpaid taxpayers instead of overpaying them, do you think they would have admitted it so quickly or at all? Would they have sent 5 representatives to investigate when they met with Tim McCormack, as the Computer Weekly reported? Would they be reassuring everyone that it's just a tiny problem? Or maybe would accountants all across the land be looking after their clients and spending weeks battling HMRC on their behalf and having to listen to that terrible on-hold music, cue music, while HMRC quietly go about the business of maybe looking the other way or looking into it, as they say? I think we all know the answer to that one. Well, at least I think I do. But anyway, there's a bigger picture here and a lesson for us all as to why accounting needs automation. Because when the systems that we have no choice but to rely on are this unreliable, the only way to stay ahead and keep our beloved HMRC honest is to utilise automation on everything that you can to ensure the best control and oversight. And you don't want to be doing that manually. And that will surely give your clients extra peace of mind. Now, I'm thinking things like automated data validation to catch errors before they cause a scandal or chaos, AI-powered reconciliations to remove human or system errors from those manual checks and spot patterns and issues, intelligent integrations that can ensure your systems actually talk to one another when they don't. Oh dear, I'm going on. But anyway, HMRC says they're working on it, so I guess we'll all be fine. But based on past performance, that could mean anything. Anyway, I'm just a bit of a rambling idiot. But if I could, and I'd like to, lead an Elon Musk-style Department of Government Efficiency program, can you imagine doing that? What would I do? Apart from some drastic ideas that probably aren't suitable for broadcast and would get blocked by YouTube. Now, if every accountant in the world can automate complex tax processes and transactions and reconciliations, let's start by automating a simple cross-check. If AI can spot fraud in milliseconds everywhere else, maybe next let's implement a simple process to flag duplicates and other anomalies. Now, if all businesses are forced to modernise or fail, and every taxpayer in the land is forced to make tax digital, would it be absurd to expect that HMRC must leave the dark ages and maybe lead the way? Anyway, what do you think? And if you have received a duplicate rebate, well, enjoy it while it lasts, but don't spend it yet. Now, that's all for this week's ramblings. As always, don't comment, don't like, don't subscribe, unless you really want to. Bye.